All right, these are the directions for the packet labeled atomic structure and ionization. This goes with your atomic modeling kit, and you should have a bunch of these protons and electrons hanging around. So we're going to go through two examples. So work along with me, write down these answers in the first two lines of your table so that when it's your turn, you know exactly what you're doing. So letter A, for every element, fill in the columns labeled symbol, atomic number, number of protons, and number of electrons. I'm just going to do the first two columns. You will do the rest of these before you do anything else. So sulfur is S. It has atomic number 16, 16 protons, 16 electrons. And sodium is Na. It is atomic number 11. It has 11 protons and 11 electrons. Great. Letter B, using your atomic modeling kit, create a model of one of these. So let's do sulfur first. So we're going to put, you should put 16 protons there. I'm just going to speed things up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 6 to go. 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Okay, that's sulfur. It has 16 protons in the middle. We're just going to cheat a little bit there. Okay, great. Now we're going to fill in the valence electrons column. So recall that valence electrons are the electrons on the very outer energy level. And we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So that gets written here. Letter D, all atoms want enough electrons to make a full valence shell. For most atoms, this is 8 valence electrons. So we're going to make it have 8 by adding or removing the fewest number possible to make it full. So let's look at sulfur. It has 2 empty spaces right here. So either we could remove 6 so that energy level 2 is the valence shell, or what's even easier, and we're going to go with easy on this, we're going to add 2. So now it has a full valence shell. So going back here, in the add or remove column, we definitely added. How many did we add or remove? We added 2. So the total number of electrons just went from 16, we added 2, we now have 18. What we just made is an ion. An ion is an atom of an element that has lost or gained electrons. Electrons are negative, remember. So if you add 2 of them, the charge is -2. And watch this. Let me zoom in a little bit so we can see a little bit better. The charge is -2. The symbol is the symbol of the element with the charge written like that. We're going to write the number and then the positive or negative. So we've gained 2 negative electrons. We get S2-. Let's try one more with sodium. We need 11 electrons. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We don't need any of these. We're just going to zoom back out so you can see it. We've got 8, 9, 10, 11 electrons. First question is, how many valence electrons? Here is the valence shell. It's just got 1. So we're going to write that here, 1 valence electron. Now we want it to have 8. So either we could add 7, which that's kind of a lot of work, or the simplest thing to do is just remove 1. Now we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 valence electrons. So let's finish filling this in. We have removed 1 valence electron. So we used to have 11, and now we only have 10. If you remove one negative thing, now we have 1 more proton than electron, which means our charge is +1. So we have 11 protons, but we only have 10 electrons, which gives us a charge of +1. The symbol is Na+, or you could write Na1+. That's fine too. So you would go through and do the rest of these. we're just going to take a look at the next page on drawing conclusions. And we can do this for sulfur and sodium. This is really similar to something that you've done before. Sulfur is right here. It had 6 valence electrons. Sodium is here. It had 1. So you've done that before. I want you to skip number 2. We're going to do that later. In the periodic table, write the charge formed. This was the very last column that you did, or the second to last column. Sodium made a +1 ion. Sulfur made a -2 ion. So you'll finish filling that in with the rest of them. And here, for sodium, we removed. And for sulfur, we added. So you're just moving things from the front of the sheet into some periodic tables so you can look at trends. And that is it. So your job is to go through the rest of these elements. You can fill in everything up to this point right here. Then you're going to make each element and fill in the rest of the columns. And then go through the rest of the packet, move this information onto a periodic table, and answer some questions about trends.